Hello everyone and welcome back to the PvM Hub. Before I start, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who watched my previous video and gave me advice and encouragement for this one. I will be doing my best to take all the advice that was given, and I really hope you can see the improvements. But I think it's about time we get into the action. In this video, we will be focusing on the first boss ever released into RuneScape, the King Black Dragon. In terms of learning PvM, the KBD is exactly what the mole is not. While it doesn't have as many mechanics, it will do damage. That means in the fight, we have to be much more careful about our health and resources. While the KBD's normal drops are nothing to be impressed by, averaging between 15 to 20k, it does have some rare drops that could bring you upwards of a mil. Don't worry though, once we get the hang of KBD, we can start to take a look at more profitable bosses. Just like last time, the video will be broken up into different sections, which will all be timestamped in the description. The sections will be recommendations and requirements, setting up your revolution bar, the important facts and mechanics of the fight, and then we'll be going through a full fight breakdown at normal speed. For requirements, once again, the KBD has none. However, I would strongly recommend using melee for this boss, so base 60s across the board for melee would be your best bet. You'll need at least 37 prayer for protect from magic, and I would also recommend having around 200k for gears and supplies at a minimum. With this budget gear, I'm using full Orichalcum, which is tier 60 melee armor, a tier 60 two-handed weapon, a warrior ring, and an amulet of power. In my inventory, I'm bringing a set of super attack, strength, and defense potions. While they are not required, they are very helpful in this fight. I'm bringing one prayer potion 3 and an inventory full of desert souls. You may notice I don't have any fire protection of any sort. With KBD, you actually don't need any as long as you have protect from magic up. One thing to note is that if you have a larger budget, I would recommend investing in power armor that suits your level. If you don't know what that is, you can type /wiki power armor into your chat box and a new window will open you up, taking you directly there. This gear tends to be more expensive, but is much more meta at a high level PvM. Again, it's not required, but will be a good upgrade if you have the money. Now let's look at your revolution bar. If you watched my giant mole video, it will be much the same as last time with one minor change. Since KBD can't be stunned, we were replacing backhand with quake. If this is your first time watching my videos, from left to right, the abilities we will be using are dismember, cleave, assault, sever, smash, hurricane, slaughter, quake, and fury, with our final slot being taken up with berserk. For the fight itself, there's not too much to learn. Each of KBD's heads will attack you with a different element, each with their own special effects. The farthest left head will attack you with acid, with a small chance to weakly poison you. The middle head will attack you with lightning, with a small chance to lower your stats by 2. And the farthest right head will attack you with ice, with a small chance to lock you in an unbreakable route for a few seconds. Having protect from mage up will reduce the damage you take from these attacks, and lessen the impact of their special effects. For the poison, we can honestly just ignore it. The largest hit will be around 100 damage, and it hits only once every 10 seconds. For the lightning effect, there isn't anything we can do to interact with it, so we just keep our stats as high as we can throughout the duration of the fight. The ice special is by far the most dangerous. If you get locked out of melee range, the dragon will get free hits on you until you finally break free. Even if you are in melee range, occasionally it will say, "I can't reach that," when attempting to re-attack the boss. Thankfully, there's an easy fix. Turn on auto retaliate when you're fighting the KBD, and as long as you don't get frozen very far away, your character will completely ignore the route and continue attacking. This is one of the reasons we choose to do KBD with melee. The other is that whenever you are in melee range, the dragon chooses to either special attack you with its breath, or to melee attack you. When you range, he will use a breath attack every time. This lowers the chance overall that we will be hit by any special effects during the fight, and will decrease our total cost. When starting your own attempts, there are a few ways to get to KBD. The old way is to run up to 45 wilderness, go down the ladder, and pull the lever. Doing this will get you a 10% damage buff against the KBD, but honestly, I don't think it's worth it. The easiest, and in my opinion best way for you to get your first kill will be to teleport to the edge of a lodestone, run northwest until you find this artifact in the wilderness wall. Don't worry, you won't be going into the wilderness with this one, but right click it, you'll see a bunch of options, and I think this is where we will introduce boss instances. An instance is when you pay a certain amount of money to have a boss all to yourself or to whoever you choose. You can change the amount of people allowed, the lowest allowed combat level, and how quickly the boss respawns, as well as who is allowed in the instance with you. You can see how much this will cost you right above where it says entrance requirements. For KBD, this will be 50k, and your instance will last exactly 1 hour. For higher level bosses like Nex, this cost can go all the way up to 800k per hour. Having an instance also allows you to toggle on practice mode. This is a feature where, when you die, you don't get teleported directly to Death's office and have to reclaim your gear, but instead just outside the lair. You also won't get any drops or XP in practice mode, but it is a great tool to learn difficult bosses without having to chuck your cash stack. If you have created an instance and leave it, its time will still tick down. To get back to your instance, go back to this screen and click rejoin. Be careful not to start another boss instance, as it will cost you another 50k. If your friend has started an instance, simply click join and type their name in. If you don't want to spend the 50k, you can click enter encounter and will be teleported into the lair. Keep in mind, here it's a free-for-all, and anyone can come in, and the highest DPS will get the drop. Before entering the fight, I strongly recommend that you already have Protect from Mage up, and for you to have already drank your potions. There will be a few ticks where the dragon can see you before you can see the dragon, and it can and will hit you 4k off of prayers. Finally, after all that talking, we're able to go through a full kill. You can see since I've already killed KBD at least once, I have attuned a portal at War's Retreat that will take me exactly there. I turn on my Protect from Mage and use my potions. I actually meant to not use my defense potion here so that my defense would be more accurate, but unfortunately I clicked it first, my mistake. It still shouldn't make too much of a difference, and I have easily done kills with 60 defense unpotted. Getting into the arena, you can see that the KBD is already at half health. This means someone else came in and didn't finish the kill. So to fix this, I'll be doing 2 kills on 1 inventory. At this point, I'm simply letting the revolution bar do all of the work, and I'm making sure that my stats and my health stay high. It's also important to note that because I have Protect from Mage up, I have blocked every status effect so far, and none of them have actually hit me. With the kill nearly done, you can see that I just ate my first food, and that my health is still relatively decent. With these stats and gear, I would estimate you can probably do about 3 kills per inventory before having to bank. As the first kill goes down, I eat back up to a higher health total, and I click my rejuvenation button so that I get a passive heal from my leftover adrenaline. When the second KBD spawns, I turn back on my Protect from Magic, and I click the boss. From here, it's just a matter of letting Revolution do all of the work, and making sure your health stays high. Throughout this fight, I keep my health around 3000 to 4000 HP, because I know he can't max over that. I also keep an eye on my prayer, and make sure I take a sip whenever I need to. At this point, if you feel so inclined, you can manually activate either your ultimate ability or your threshold abilities. It will slightly increase your DPS, and it means that the kill time will take less long. With the second KBD kill done, you now know how to manage your health and prayer over a longer fight. We also brought super potions for the first time, and that will be a continuing theme as we get harder and harder into the bosses. Next time, we will be taking our first dive into the God Wars 1 bosses, and your first real chance to make a profit. I hope this guide was helpful and that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Zingy out.